Welcome back, McFly subscribers. We're finishing up this month's Midge Dry Fly series with a CDC Midge Emerger. These offer a delicate presentation that looks like a midge emerging through the surface film. This particular version uses Peccary for the abdomen, but I'll show you a few other variations as well. This is McFly Angler.
Starts now.
Okay, let's get started tying. Place the hook securely in your vise. For a hook, I'm using Risen's Barbless Shrimp and Caddis 2457 in a size 18. This is a curved shank hook with a down eye, and it also has an offset hook point, which can help increase the chance of the hook setting in the corner of the fish's mouth. We'll also need some thread, and today I'm using Viva's 14-knot in black, which is a flat thread. Start your thread near the hook eye and snip or snap off the waist. Then bring your thread down to about the hook point mark. For this version, I'm using a Peccary quill. Peccary lays rather flat and has a nice alternating dark and light coloration. Pull one off the swatch, and then we want to cut the tip off so the dark section starts about a half an inch or so back from the end. Now let's tie this in so the tip extends about 2 hook eye lengths back from the hook eye, and then let's wrap this down to the hook bend, as far as you feel comfortable. We want a little bit of that dark color left so we can get a few wraps of dark before the lighter portion starts to show. And as I mentioned, this is a flat thread, so I'm spinning my bobbin counterclockwise to uncord it. And this will help us create a smooth underbody as we wrap back up. End with your thread about where the end of the Peccary tip stops, and now we'll start wrapping the Peccary with touching wraps up the hook shank. You can see how flat this lays, and the beautiful segmented abdomen it creates. Because it is such a small fly, we really don't want more than 2 or 3 wraps of this white portion, so let's tie off the Peccary here, clip it off so the tip extends up to the original Peccary tip, and then tie that down. Then cut the white portion off and restart again, securing it so it begins where the previous wraps ended. Now when we wrap, we'll get more of that dark area, creating a nice gradation. Now I unfortunately didn't get the wraps perfect on this one, but I'm sure you all can do much better than me. Okay, once we reach about 2 hook eye lengths back from the hook eye, capture the Peccary, trim off the waist, and clean up the tie-in point. Now we need some UV resin, and for that, I like Solarez Ultra Thin. Use a handy brush in the cap to paint it over the abdomen, and this will accentuate the ribbing of the Peccary while also making the abdomen much more durable. Use your UV light to cure it, and it'll finish tack-free with a nice glossy sheen. Okay, now we need some CDC, and today I'm using white. However, you can get dyed CDC in quite a few colors as well. Another common color is dun. Olive is also a great option, but you can use brighter colors as well. Get creative and use whatever color works for you. Okay, we need 3 feathers. Let's align the tips and stroke the fibers up towards the tip. And now we have a neat little portion to tie in. Let's tie the tips in so they extend about a hook length over the front of the fly, and I find it easiest to do this with the pinch wrap. Now let's wrap the butt ends back over the Peccary so we have a nice little section for the thorax. You can check the thorax size by pulling the CDC ends up and over, and if you need a little more room, just tie further back. Now for some dubbing. Today I'm using this hare's ear dubbing, which has a little scruffiness to it. However, you can use finer dubbing if you want, like this fine and dry. Really, just about any dry fly dubbing will work. Now we don't need much of this. In fact, this pinch is a little bit too large. Here we go. This is about right. Let's separate it out a bit in our fingers like this, and then we're going to dub this onto the thread in a tight, compact noodle. Once the noodle is made, start wrapping around the thorax that we just created, forming a small dubbing ball. Once you've used up the dubbing and you're happy with the thorax size, pull back the CDC wing and make a few wraps underneath it, and then return your thread to right behind the wing. Pull the CDC butt ends up and over the thorax, and make a couple wraps over them. Then pull the butt ends back and clip them off close, but leave just a little sticking up to help stiffen that wing. Pull the wing back, make a few more wraps underneath it, and then you can whip finish the fly. Okay, let's use a little more of that Solarez Ultra Thin to cement the whip finish, and also put a small dot underneath the wing. Pull the wing up and cure the resin with your UV light. Now the wing will be a little bit more compact and stiffened up a little bit more, which will help keep it upright and floating on the surface. And there we have it, the finished CDC Emerger. You can brush out the thorax if you want and pick out some of those extra long guard hairs, and those fibers will help suggest little legs and give the fly a more buggy appearance. CDC is a material that naturally floats. These fibers come from right around the oil gland of a duck and contain natural oils that help repel water. Along with the structure of the feather itself, this makes CDC an excellent material for dry flies. When tied correctly, that CDC wing helps keep the upper portion of the fly right at the surface, with the wing sticking up and making it easier to track. Meanwhile, the abdomen hangs below the surface film, keeping it visible to the trout. That gives us a really nice presentation of an emerging midge trying to break through the surface. Now, I don't feel like I tied this one particularly well. It is rather difficult to do with the camera sitting between me and the fly. But here's one I tied off camera that came out more like what I was looking for. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you can use other materials for the abdomen. Here's one using a rooster quill, which creates some really nice ribbing as well. I also changed the dubbing to a black fine and dry. Here's another using wire over the black thread, similar to a zebra midge. And this one also uses fine and dry dubbing, but this time I used Adam's gray. Here's one I used white thread over the same black thread, which creates more of a subtle ribbing effect. And I also use that same gray fine and dry for the thorax. Okay, as you can see, you can get creative with these and tailor the flies to your individual needs. Okay, well, we have now finished this month's Midge Dry Fly series, and I have filled up my Midge Dry Fly box with what I think are 4 of the best Midge dry flies, or at least 4 of my favorite flies to tie and fish. We started this series with the Griffith's gnat, one of the most important midge dry flies ever created. It represents a cluster of midges rather than an individual midge, so you can tie it much larger than other midge dries. That makes a great indicator-style fly for a 2-midge dry fly setup, while also representing a larger reward for the trout and encouraging them to rise. Next, we tied the Brook Sprout, a fly that's simple enough to tie down to extremely small sizes. In fact, I showed you one that is tied on a size 30 hook. Last week we tied the Mating Midge, a fly that fills the gap between a single midge dry fly and a cluster dry. It represents 2 midges mating on the surface, allowing us to tie a little larger while still imitating those tiny little insects. And of course, we finished the series today with the CDC Midge Emerger, giving us a fly that sits partially below the surface film and represents a midge in the process of emerging. Next week, we're going to start a brand new series on egg flies. I plan on tying a few different styles of eggs for you guys, but we're going to start this one off with the classic and one of my favorites, the glow bug. So make sure you're subscribed and click that bell notification. That way you don't miss any future videos, including next week's glow bug egg fly. By the way, those fly boxes you saw, I do sell them. They're magnetic backed with open compartments, great for dry flies and small nymphs. The magnets are strong enough to hold smaller flies in place, so you don't lose them if you accidentally drop an open box in the water. I will link to my Amazon storefront below in the description section of this video if you're interested, where you can pick one of these up, or some of my other fly boxes, or even hats, all with free shipping. Also, check out my sponsor, Risen Fly. They made the hooks I use today, but they also make some excellent fly rods, reels, and other gear, all at very high quality and excellent prices. Best off, they're offering you all a discount, so go to www.risenfly.com and type in McFly at checkout for 15% off your first order with them. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's tutorial, let me know by hitting that like button. And apparently the new thing is to hype videos, so help me out and hype this one. If you know anyone that could use a reliable midge dry fly in their fly box, send this video their way. I will see you on the next video. Now you go catch some fish.